It's not a conversation that I would necessarily have. I think it's perfectly true that it is a moment with that discussion.
Those that really want to do it properly will forge ahead anyway. Yes, there is always that risk, that danger. Many will get left behind.
We've received breaking news from Buckingham Palace, which has announced that the King has been diagnosed with cancer.
There's never a dull moment when it comes to the royal family and their endless drama. Just when you think things have settled, another scandal pops up. This time, it's all about Queen Camilla and her not-so-happy reaction to something the late Queen Elizabeth II reportedly said about her. But what exactly did the Queen say? And more importantly, why is Camilla bringing up an issue that's been buried for years? Buckle up, because this royal roller coaster is about to take off. The British royal family has seen its fair share of scandals, but this latest one might just top them all. According to reports, Queen Camilla is absolutely furious over something Queen Elizabeth said about her while she was still alive. And here's the kicker. It's the way she found out that makes it even more shocking. For years, Camilla has been painted as the villain in the royal saga. But this time, you might actually feel sorry for her. So, what happened? At a recent Balmoral gathering, Princess Anne, who's never been one to hold back, dropped a truth bomb on Camilla. Curious about what she said? Well, here it is. Anne revealed that Queen Elizabeth never actually wanted Camilla to be queen. Yep, you read that right. In fact, the late queen had always preferred Princess Kate for the role, believing she had the grace and elegance the position required. But that's just the beginning. Anne reportedly went even further, claiming that Queen Elizabeth couldn't stand Camilla and only agreed to give her the title of Queen Consort because of a secret deal made behind closed doors. And here's where it gets really messy. King Charles allegedly used Prince Andrew's ties to Jeffrey Epstein as leverage to get his mother's approval. Talk about a royal power play. At the time, Charles needed the Queen's public support for Camilla as they approached her Platinum Jubilee. But Queen Elizabeth, always the strategist, knew that making Camilla queen wouldn't exactly be a popular move. The original plan was for her to be called Princess Consort, not Queen. However, with Andrew's scandal threatening to drag the monarchy into further chaos, Charles saw an opportunity. He reportedly convinced his mother to back Camilla's title in exchange for handling the Andrew situation. Now, years later, Camilla is still struggling with the truth. The idea that Queen Elizabeth never truly accepted her and only agreed to her title for political reasons has left a deep scar. And with Princess Anne spilling the royal family's best-kept secrets, it's clear that the power struggles within the palace are far from over. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that royal drama never takes a day off. But here's the real question. Why is Princess Anne the one exposing all of this now? And why wait until this exact moment to bring it up? Could there be some unfinished business between her and Camilla? Or is there something bigger at play? It's no secret that Anne and Camilla have had a rocky relationship for years, with tensions between them bubbling beneath the surface. But we'll get into that a bit later. For now, let's take a look at how Queen Elizabeth's alleged dislike for Camilla compares to her obvious admiration for Princess Kate. If there was one person the late Queen adored, it was Kate Middleton. She saw her as the perfect future queen consort, and that admiration wasn't something new. It started all the way back in 2006. Queen Elizabeth had a soft spot for Kate from the start. So much so that when Kate and William were dating, she invited her to spend Christmas at Sandringham, a huge honor for someone who wasn't yet married into the family. But Kate, always mindful of tradition, politely declined. She was only 24 at the time and knew that without a ring on her finger, she had no official place at the royal family's private gatherings. That patience and wisdom paid off, and in the years that followed, she not only became William's wife, but also one of the most beloved members of the royal family. And this is where things start getting juicy, because Queen Camilla definitely noticed Kate's growing influence. And let's just say, she wasn't exactly thrilled about it. Apparently, Camilla has never really seen Princess Catherine as the right match for William or the future of the monarchy. According to royal expert Christopher Anderson, Camilla wasn't exactly thrilled when William and Kate first got together. In fact, she was outright against their relationship. Anderson, who wrote The King. The Life of Charles III claims that Camilla didn't think Kate was on their level socially and saw her as an outsider. Kate, after all, came from a middle-class background, which in Camilla's eyes made her an unsuitable match for a future king. But was Camilla's dislike really just about Kate's background? Or was she worried about losing her influence over Charles and the royal family's future? Whatever the case, the tension between these two royal powerhouses has quietly simmered beneath the surface for years. And now, with Princess Anne adding fuel to the fire, the royal drama is far from over. But here's the kicker. Anne isn't the only one who's had reservations about Camilla. Turns out, a good chunk of the royal family feels the same way, including none other than Prince William himself. And if you're thinking it's just because of the comments Camilla made about Catherine, think again. While that definitely didn't help, William's dislike of Camilla goes much deeper, stretching all the way back to when he was a child. The tension between them became even more apparent when Prince Harry spilled the royal tea in his explosive memoir, Spare. According to Harry, William has always merely tolerated Camilla, and believe it or not, she's actually been a little afraid of him. But here's the real bombshell. Harry claimed that both he and William had once begged their father, King Charles III, not to marry Camilla. Why? Because she had a reputation for leaking stories about them and the rest of the royal family to the press. In Spare, Harry admitted that when Camilla officially entered their lives, he couldn't help but wonder if she'd turn out to be one of those classic wicked stepmothers. And honestly, considering everything that had happened, it wasn't an unfair question. The tension didn't just appear out of nowhere. Camilla's infamous affair with Charles while he was still married to Princess Diana left deep scars, not just on the boys, but on the entire royal family. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Charles and Camilla's relationship was an on-again, off-again situation, with Diana famously putting it all out in the open during her Panorama interview. There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. Then, in 1997, Diana's tragic death in a car crash sent shockwaves through the world, leaving William and Harry without their beloved mother. Despite his son's strong objections, Charles pushed ahead with his plans to marry Camilla, and in 2005, he finally made it official. In his book, Harry revealed that, despite their best efforts to stop the wedding, they eventually gave in, shook their father's hand, wished him well, and assured him there were no hard feelings. But while Harry's resentment toward Camilla remained crystal clear, sources claimed that William eventually let go of the past, especially after Harry left the royal family in 2020. According to US Weekly, over the years, William and Camilla had managed to work through their differences. A source even said that William and Harry had always struggled to trust Camilla and resented her because of their deep devotion to Diana. They never really felt close enough to confide in her or open up in a meaningful way. But one person played a huge role in bridging the gap between William and Camilla, Princess Kate. Even after everything Camilla said about her, Kate has always treated her with kindness and respect. And for a while, it looked like the past had finally been put to rest, with William and Camilla maintaining a fragile truce. But now, with Anne stirring up old tensions and the weight of history still hanging over them, the real question is, how long can this royal peace actually last? Even though things between Princess Catherine and Queen Camilla seem patched up, there's still one royal rivalry that refuses to die down: Princess Anne and Camilla. This one has roots so deep that even time hasn't fully smoothed things over. Back in 2005, when Prince Charles married Camilla Parker Bowles, Queen Elizabeth II took a rather unusual step. She had her private secretary draft a special document ensuring that Princess Anne would never have to curtsy to Camilla. A former courtier revealed that this wasn't just a casual decision. It was done because Princess Anne and Princess Alexandra had absolutely no intention of bowing to someone they saw as undeserving of the honor. In their eyes, Camilla was a deeply unpopular figure, and Anne, never one to hold back, made it clear that she had zero plans of curtsying to her brother's new wife. But why was Anne so adamant about this? Well, it all boiled down to something rather juicy: love. Their complicated history traces back to the 1970s, when Camilla was in an on-again, off-again relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles. But here's the twist. While Camilla was dating Andrew, Andrew was also romantically involved with Princess Anne. So instead of a messy love triangle, what we got was a full-blown royal love rectangle. If this sounds like the kind of scandal made for TV, that's because it was. The Crown even brought this drama to life in Season 3, reigniting interest in their long-standing feud. According to Palace insiders, the bitterness between Anne and Camilla never really faded. The tension has lingered for decades, resurfacing every now and then like an old wound that refuses to heal. And make no mistake, there's no chance these two will ever be best friends. But if you look at their recent public appearances, it seems like things have taken an unexpected turn, at least on the surface. Just last November, in a rather surprising display of unity, Princess Anne presented Camilla with an honorary doctorate of literature from the University of London. The two even traveled to the event together, looking friendlier than ever. As the university's long-standing chancellor, Anne praised Camilla's contributions to literacy through her Queen's Reading Room initiative. And in a twist of irony, it was Camilla who had to kneel before Anne to receive the honor. This moment was a far cry from their tense history, especially considering how their personal lives were once so entangled. When Anne first started seeing Andrew Parker Bowles, he already had quite the reputation as a ladies' man. According to royal biographer Penny Junor, Andrew was known for being unfaithful, and he had a habit of getting involved with multiple women, including some of Anne's own friends. And here's where things take another dramatic turn. When Camilla first met Prince Charles, she was well aware that Andrew was also seeing Anne. Instead of stepping away, she decided to teach Andrew a lesson. Her method? Starting her own affair with Charles. What followed was a series of love affairs that would shape the course of royal history. Camilla and Charles's romance was initially shut down because the royal family didn't see her as a suitable match for a future king. Meanwhile, Anne's relationship with Andrew was doomed for an entirely different reason: royal protocol. Because Andrew Parker Bowles was Catholic, the Act of Settlement 1701 made it impossible for him to marry a member of the royal family. At the time, Anne was fourth in line to the throne, and she likely knew there was no way their relationship would be allowed to progress. But knowing that didn't make the heartbreak any easier. When Andrew broke things off in 1973 and announced his engagement to Camilla, Anne was reportedly devastated. Heartbroken and possibly looking for stability, Anne quickly moved on and married cavalry officer Captain Mark Phillips. The marriage seemed promising at first, but in reality, it was far from perfect. The cracks began to show, and by 1992, Anne and Mark officially divorced after years of reported infidelities on both sides. And here's another twist. According to biographer Sally Bedell Smith, one of Anne's alleged lovers during her marriage was none other than Andrew Parker Bowles. As history would have it, Charles and Camilla eventually married in 2005, cementing a love story that had spanned decades of scandal. But Anne and Andrew? Well, that's a whole different story. Their story is far from over. The tangled web of royal relationships continues to fascinate, with deep-rooted tensions and history shaping the dynamics even today. The fact that Andrew Parker Bowles remained close to both Anne and Camilla, despite their complicated past, must have been an ongoing source of unspoken friction. Even after his marriage to Camilla, whispers persisted that Anne's feelings for Andrew never completely faded. And yet, despite their history, Andrew remained one of Anne's closest confidants. He even took on the role of godfather to her daughter, Zara Tyndall, just as King Charles serves as godfather to Andrew and Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles. According to royal biographer Sally Bedell Smith, the connection between Anne and Andrew went far beyond mere friendship. Even after their romantic relationship ended, they remained deeply intertwined, and rumors swirled that their bond may have continued behind closed doors, even after their respective marriages. While Camilla may have ultimately won Charles's heart, Anne's unwavering presence in royal circles and her status as the Queen's daughter always seemed to give her an edge in their silent rivalry. For Camilla, who endured years of public scrutiny as the infamous other woman. Anne's confidence and untouchable royal pedigree likely only added another layer of tension to their already complicated dynamic. And yet, here's the twist. Anne's own life choices may have paved the way for Camilla to finally marry Charles. When the late Queen saw that the monarchy didn't crumble after Anne divorced Mark Phillips and married Timothy Lawrence, her perspective on Charles's relationship with Camilla seemed to soften. What once seemed impossible became inevitable. Now, 2 decades later, Anne and Camilla have reached an unexpected truce, not just as royals, but as 2 women fiercely devoted to supporting King Charles. In an ironic twist of fate, they've shifted from rivals to allies, all while maintaining ties to the same man who once played such a pivotal role in their love lives. While Camilla and Anne have settled into their places within the monarchy, another royal woman is still carving out her own legacy, Kate Middleton, the future Queen Consort. Often compared to Princess Diana, Queen Camilla, and even the late Queen Elizabeth II, Kate doesn't always get enough recognition for simply being herself. Born on January 9, 1982, at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading, Kate came from an upper-middle-class family with deep connections to the British aristocracy on her father's side and working-class roots on her mother's. Her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, had once worked for British Airways before building their own successful business, Party Pieces. Unlike many royals, Kate spent her early years far from the public eye. Her family even moved to Jordan when she was just 2 years old, where she attended an English-language nursery school before returning to Berkshire in 1986. Her schooling years were marked by achievement. She was enrolled at St. Andrew's School before moving on to Marlborough College, where she excelled both academically and athletically. She captained the girls' field hockey team, took part in outdoor expeditions, and even earned the prestigious Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award. But everything changed when she attended the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, because that's where she crossed paths with Prince William. The rest, as they say, is history. But Kate's journey was never just about becoming a royal. She had a life of her own before stepping into the royal spotlight. Despite securing a place at the University of Edinburgh, she took a gap year to explore the world. She studied at the British Institute of Florence, traveled to Chile for a Raleigh International program, and even spent a summer working as a deckhand at the port of Southampton. When she finally arrived at St. Andrews, she initially studied psychology before switching to art history. Even then, she wasn't just a student. She balanced her studies with a part-time job as a waitress and was an active member of the Lumsden Club, where she organized fundraisers and community projects. By 2005, Kate had completed her degree, but her story was only just beginning. She graduated with an undergraduate MA in art history, marking the start of a life that would soon become the focus of global attention. At St. Andrews, she first crossed paths with Prince William in 2001 while living at St. Salvator's Hall. But it wasn't until 2002 that she truly caught his eye, walking the runway in a sheer lace dress during a charity fashion show. By 2003, their relationship was official, and they moved into a shared flat with 2 friends before eventually settling into Balgove House together. Like any young couple, their romance had its ups and downs. They briefly split in 2004, only to reconcile before graduation. As Kate stepped into life post-university, she found herself thrust into an unforgiving spotlight. The press hounded her relentlessly, speculating about an impending engagement. In 2006, she took on a part-time job as an accessories buyer for Jigsaw, while also working for her family's business, handling its website and catalog. That same year, she was seen at key royal events, including William's passing out parade at Sandhurst. Despite the increasing media attention, the couple hit another rough patch, breaking up in April 2007. Yet their time apart was short-lived, and by the end of the year, they had rekindled their romance. By 2008, Kate's presence in royal circles was undeniable. She attended Peter Phillips's wedding in William's Place and met Queen Elizabeth II for the first time. That same year, she was seen at the Order of the Garter procession, where William was made a Royal Knight of the Garter. Even as William trained with the Royal Navy in the Caribbean, Kate remained a visible figure, attending royal events with increasing regularity. By June 2010, the couple had settled into a quiet cottage on the Bordean estate in Anglesey, Wales, where William was stationed for his RAF search and rescue training. Before their engagement, Kate shared a Chelsea apartment with her sister Pippa, owned by their parents. But in October 2010, everything changed. While on a 10-day trip to Kenya's Liwa Wildlife Conservancy, William proposed at a secluded alpine cabin on Mount Kenya. Their engagement was announced by Clarence House on November 16th, with William presenting Kate with his mother Diana's legendary sapphire and diamond ring, a symbolic bridge between past and future. In preparation for her royal role, Kate was confirmed into the Church of England on March 10th at St. James's Palace, with William and her family by her side. Their wedding, held on April 29, 2011 at Westminster Abbey, was nothing short of a spectacle. Timed to coincide with St. Catherine's Day, the event was declared a national holiday in the UK. An estimated 300 million people tuned in worldwide, with 26 million watching live in Britain alone. Her wedding dress, designed by Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen, became instantly iconic. Upon their marriage, she was granted the title Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cambridge. As a wedding gift, the Queen bestowed upon them Anmer Hall, a countryside retreat on the Sandringham estate. In London, they first lived at Nottingham Cottage before moving into apartment 1A at Kensington Palace in 2013, following an 18-month, $4.5 million renovation. Kensington Palace remained their primary residence until 2017, when they shifted their home base to Adelaide Cottage in Windsor by September 2022. Their family soon grew, with Prince George arriving in July 2013, followed by Princess Charlotte in May 2015, and Prince Louis in April 2018. Life seemed picture perfect, but in January 2024, Kensington Palace announced that Kate had undergone planned abdominal surgery at the London clinic for an undisclosed condition. She stepped back from public duties through March, sparking intense speculation and conspiracy theories, especially after William suddenly withdrew from a major royal event, citing a personal matter. Then, on March 22nd, Kate broke her silence in an emotional video message. She revealed that post-surgery tests had found cancer and that she had been undergoing chemotherapy since late February. Extending her medical leave, she remained largely out of the public eye. But in June, she made a surprise appearance at Trooping the Color, her first official outing since her diagnosis. Later, in a heartfelt letter, she confirmed that her treatment was ongoing, but her commitment to her role in her family remained as steadfast as ever. Over the following months, she made occasional public appearances while continuing her recovery. Then in September, a video message from Kensington Palace confirmed what many had been hoping for. She had completed chemotherapy and was preparing to resume her royal duties. A month later, she joined William on a visit to meet the families of the victims of the 2024 Southport stabbing, marking her first official engagement since finishing treatment. In January 2025, she returned to the Royal Marsden Hospital, where she had received cancer care, to personally thank the doctors and nurses who had supported her and to meet with patients. The visit was a significant moment, as it was her first solo public engagement since completing chemotherapy. That same day, she finally shared the long-awaited news. Her cancer was in remission. Charity work has been a defining part of her life, both before and after becoming a royal. Back in 2007, she curated a photography exhibition to support UNICEF, launching Time to Reflect by Alistair Morrison. The following year, she spent time with children at Naomi's House Hospice, before organizing a roller disco fundraiser that raised £100,000 for Oxford Children's Hospital and the mental health charity Place 2B. While working for her parents' company, she was just as involved, helping coordinate events for the Starlight Children's Foundation and organizing the Boodles Boxing Ball to raise funds for charity. After her marriage, her philanthropic work only expanded. In March 2011, she and William set up a wedding gift fund under the foundation of Prince William and Prince Harry, allowing well-wishers to donate to causes instead of giving presents. The fund supported 26 charities across a wide range of areas, including the armed forces, children, the elderly, the arts, sports, and conservation. In 2012, the foundation was renamed to reflect her contributions and is now known as the Royal Foundation of the Prince and Princess of Wales. Beyond charity, she has left her mark as a global fashion icon. Her sense of style has earned her frequent spots on best-dressed lists, and in 2022, Tatler ranked her at the top of their list. By 2024, she was named the most glamorous European royal. Over the years, her wardrobe has evolved from safe, conservative choices to a refined yet elegant aesthetic, favoring designs by Alexander McQueen, Jenny Packham, Catherine Walker, Dolce & Gabbana, and Gucci. The Kate Middleton effect describes her influence on fashion trends and retail sales, and by 2021, she was credited with boosting the British fashion industry by up to £1 billion annually. Both publicly and privately, she has become a defining presence in the modern royal family. Journalists such as Camilla Tominey and Petronella Wyatt have described her as the monarchy's greatest asset and the jewel in the crown, while the New York Times' Rhonda Garelick has praised her ability to balance tradition with modernity. Despite intense media scrutiny, her aides note that she doesn't shape her decisions based on PR strategy. She does what she believes is right. Former Private Secretary Jamie Lowther Pinkerton once described her approach as almost old-fashioned, saying that she simply doesn't engage in drama.